equipment, etc. Here's the Cisco SDM Express for another device. Oh, there's no password set on it. Do you want to set a password? Sure, why not? I got 59 slides here. Okay, so just trying to show you that there's a small percentage, but 3,000 Cisco devices out there that require no authentication at all. Now, are some of them going to be useless devices? Of course, they're probably old. But we already saw one big infrastructure device for China Netcom, and there's a lot more out there. So, as a penetration tester, obviously, if you're looking for a specific device in a specific domain, maybe you'll find something out there. Maybe not, but, I mean, instead of, grabbing all these banners yourself, they've already been done by somebody, so why not use it? Second case study is default passwords. So this is a very simple search, just using default password. So we're looking for banners that have the word default password in it with the probability of that the banner is actually going to say what the default password is. That doesn't necessarily mean that the device is using the default password, but maybe they are. So we're talking about the lowest hanging fruit. So here's an example of a device. This is actually the first one I found. Default password 1234. It's a print server for a printer, and it does have the www authenticate, so it's going to give us a pop-up box, probably. So it doesn't give a username, but let's, what are the first usernames you're going to try? Admin or a null username. So does it work? Here's the box. That's exactly what I expected, and yeah, the null username worked and the default password works. So I know some of these characters, this is probably another Chinese box where the characters didn't translate. But pretty much, if you would go through all these settings, you could pretty much configure anything you wanted on this. So there are lots of more devices like this that are using the default passwords that you could pretty much do whatever you want with. By the way, the reason I didn't blur any of these IP addresses are because you could just do it right now and you'd still find the same stuff out there, and I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong by doing it. Maybe I am, but whatever. Okay, so IIS 5.0. We know there's lots of IIS 5.0 boxes out there. I mean, 280,000 according to SHODAN. I'm sure there's a lot more, but this is what they found. IIS, well, nobody's using IIS 4.0 anymore, right? I mean, there's no way. 7,500. What about 3.0? No, it's not possible. Come on. Yeah, 331. IIS 2.0, 36. Does anybody know what IIS 1.0 maps to? Windows NT 3.91, which came out in 1995. 136. Now, maybe the target that you're searching for isn't running one of these. I mean, the chances would be low, but they're out there. 85 doesn't mind. I don't have that's segmented. Now, you've all seen Google hacking devices that will find you webcams, and again, this does it too. And there's an interesting view of this slide. I want to show you this slide and then this slide. Then this slide. The difference is this one is viewed in Firefox, and the translation of those lines is snapshots, so taking snapshots from the webcam, and then client.html. Strangely enough, when viewed in IE, there's a third line, and that is config.html. By the way, this camera also pans and tilts and does all of the fun stuff. I was going back and forth like, please look at the camera. And then, okay, so I don't know Chinese, but Google does, and that's what all those things are. Pretty much do anything I want with the camera. And I also found some Ethernet other devices. You can pretty much find whatever you want if you know what to look for in the banners. And that's really the key point about SHODAN. A couple minutes left. John said he's working on an API He did disable IP CIDR filtering for a little bit because he didn't want people just enumerating, and he also, when you do a search, you're going to be limited to the first 5 pages, which is 100 results, because he just doesn't want people enumerating his whole entire list. However, if you think about it, there's a lot of good filters here that you don't really need to. If you filter down to what you really want, you can find a lot more stuff. Question?
Is he doing the searching himself, or is he using another service? Or?
I believe he's doing the searching himself. I believe he's doing the searching himself. No. There was actually, many of you guys know Richard Belchich, very respected guy, who came out right after this came out and said this is going to be shut down within like a couple of days. And while I totally respect his opinion, I was like, I don't think so. I said, you want to let's pick an over/under date and let's make a bet on it, which he didn't reply to. But I mean, is he doing anything here that you can't do by? Is he pushing the line? Yeah, but I think this is pretty awesome. So, I don't know. Here's my conclusion. Yeah, could you do this all yourself? Absolutely. What he's done with Shodan is he's aggregating information that isn't already widely available in an easy format for you to find, of course. Secondly, it allows some level of passive vulnerability analysis on your part, so you can maybe identify vulnerabilities based on versions, based on software that people are running without actually going to the target website. Honestly, I think this is pretty game-changing in terms of penetration testing. Is everything going to go this way? Of course not. But I think that future vulnerability assessments will include this sort of information. I mean, if you're doing a certain portion of the internet or a large enterprise network that has a large internet-facing portion, and you're not using something like this, then I think you may be missing out on something. And that's all I got. Question?
Is there a way to differentiate between Shodan hasn't enumerated the CIDR net versus if you find anything that it did enumerate?
I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Any other questions? I will be hanging out for the rest of the talk, so if you have any additional questions. Thank you guys a lot. I appreciate it.
Hey, Marcus, are you ready?